Thank you, Jeff, and good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure, really, to be here and speak to you tonight, because the Mental Health Association of Morris County is indispensable here in the county. It's an honor to be asked to share some of the words by such important and professional organizations. What you do hits close home to me. As Jeff said, my sister, who was an 18-year resident of Greenbrook Regional Center down in Greenbrook, New Jersey, passed away just last Monday. And I know the problems and the trials and tribulations because I've lived and walked the walk with her. And that's one of the reasons I think I continue to really think about the people that need the support, that can't speak for themselves. Society does not advance by ignoring the vulnerable or by helping only them that when it's convenient. We cannot better our lives by pretending disabilities or hardships do not exist. A society advances when we confront those challenges head on. Homelessness, mental illness, addictions are things that ordinary people find in everyday life. Not only in the most prosperous nation in the world, but here in Morris County, one of the most affluent counties. Many of these people had the Mental Health Association helps, had families, careers, homes, and loved ones. We are no different from them. It has been one of my missions as a public servant to make our state's laws and services represent that fact. As mayor of the town of Boonton, I helped Community Hope site a group home in my town. And I remember even to this day, the night I got a call from Carmela Lunt, and I was only mayor, I think, probably just about 6 or 8 months. And she said, I'm looking to site a home, and you're the last one to call on my list because every other mayor I called said, well, not really, we don't want to support that in our town. We have enough nonprofits in the town. And when I said to her, yes, I'd like to sit and talk with you, she was quite surprised. And she said again, are you sure? I said, yes, Carmela, I'll talk to you. And we cited that home. And as Jeff said, I almost lost an election because of citing that home. And I remember after the home was cited, or during the citing of it, and the mayor and board of aldermen meeting, and the room was standing room only from residents in the area that says we don't need them, we don't want them, they're going to disrupt our neighborhood. And I kept on and pursued, and we finally got that home sited. And I remember distinctly, one day, I had my sister home. We used to bring her home for every holiday. We brought her home for her birthday and whatnot. And I think it was her birthday because it was in the summertime, July. And I was at my son's house because he had just had a new baby. And my sister was very thrilled to see her nephew. And a woman from across the street of that home, the Community Hope home, called the town hall and asked for me. They got in touch with me and I called her back. And she says, do you realize what you're doing to our neighborhood? You're endangering our lives. I says, gee, I won't say her name, because I know the woman. She knew me since I was born. She was friends with my mother and father and the family. And I said to her, geez, I says, you remember my sister Anna Marie? She says, oh, yes, I do. I says, well, why don't you walk around the corner? She's here at my son's house because I don't have a problem with her being here. She hung up on me. But that's the mentality that has persuaded in our society with mental illness. And I also remember Bob Parker with New Bridges. I don't think I was mayor when you cited. It was the early 80s. I was still just on the board, president of the board. And Bob came to us also and said, I want to cite this home. And I said, okay. He says, we're going to have an open house. Will you come? I says, absolutely. And I have to tell you, he did a fantastic job in getting the neighbors all together, inviting all the neighbors into that home on the grand opening. And it's worked out very well. So that's what we are faced with as legislators and trying to solve some of these problems, whether it's addiction or whether it's the mentally ill. Someone has to speak up for them. And I'm proud to be that person standing up in the legislature, along with my son. And I have to say this, my son is here, Assemblyman Bucco, and he also has been able to pick up the banner of fighting for it. We've introduced legislation, I guess about in the early 90s, I had introduced legislation for drug court, for people with drug problems, minor drug problems, that instead of incarcerating them, we had them go through the drug court and the rehabilitation. And now my son and I have introduced legislation to expand that to juveniles, because we've got to curb the addictions with our young people also. So I'm very proud to be here tonight. I'm very proud to receive this award, but it's not just me. It's all of you out there, all of you, because you cared. You cared to come tonight. You cared to support the Mental Health Association, because you are the ones, the soldiers on the street that have to keep fighting. My son and I will keep fighting in the legislature, but we need the army of you behind us. I thank you, God bless you, and thank you for coming here to support mental health.